It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
That's right, live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host for today, and I go by the name of Kevin McIntosh. I appreciate you for taking time to be with us. We got a lot to talk about here in the greater West Bloomfield community, so let's go ahead and get started. It is National Police Week, so keeping things relative to that. Earlier this week, Orchard Lake Police attended the Sheriff's Town Hall meeting about recent organized theft group break-ins, and we just want to be a little bit more proactive as we possibly can. Chief Gomez and Officer McNeely were the city representatives at the Town Hall meeting in Bloomfield Hills that was attended by over 100 people, a lot of people attending that, and they discussed a lot of things, discussed methods used by some of these groups to plot and surveillance on these potential homes for them to break in. And we also obviously discussed how to prevent falling victim to these break-ins. Some things include mixing up your daily routine a little bit, maybe not taking the same route, maybe not leaving at the exact same time every day. Some people could be watching that. Also talked about making sure if you do have an alarm system, an alarm company that you have with your home, make sure you tell them to contact the local police before they contact you. That way, it'll be a quicker response time. Also talked about possibly forming a neighborhood watch within your community. Could be very, very important, and just doing different things to keep things vigilant. So being proactive is something that they were talking about at the town hall meeting. And if you see something that seems suspicious, it's always better to report it. And like we said, be proactive. It's better to do something than nothing and let something happen and fall victim and wish you would have done something in hindsight. So for more information, please follow the Orchard Lake Police Department on their Facebook page, of course, at Orchard Lake Police, just to contact them and find out more information about that town hall meeting, what they found. On a positive note, more of a lighter note, talking about our students here in the West Bloomfield community, our local mathletes continue to achieve big things representing for West Bloomfield. 4th through 7th graders recently participated in the math pentathlon tournament, and this was a great event, man. They actually left with a lot of great hardware. We say, if you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see the students right here that participated. We left with 3 honorable mentions, 2 bronze medalists, 4 silver medalists, 4 gold medalists, and 1 Hall of Fame gold medalist. Clap for them. They did a fantastic job. This is at a math pentathlon, by the way. This isn't just athleticism. So this goes to the brains and academics. 7th grader Becca Barber, by the way, she won a trophy for participating in her 8th math pentathlon, I should say. So congratulations to Becca Barber, by the way, competing consistently and out there achieving and being recognized for that. Congratulations to all the students and all the kids, by the way. You can check out more of the photos and get more information on their Facebook, West Bloomfield Schools, and of course you can find out more about the math pentathlon and just everything in general West Bloomfield School District at wbsd.org. Speaking of academics, keeping the kids involved, getting them smart, thinking about the future, if you want to get your kids involved in STEAM activities, but and they're also in higher grade levels, but you may not be in the West Bloomfield School District, you may have an opportunity for you, as a matter of fact. 9th and 10th grade criteria-based school of choice is having open enrollment, as a matter of fact. That is May 20th through June 7th. Let me repeat that. You want your kids to be involved in STEAM programs and activities, and they're in the higher grade levels, and you're not in West Bloomfield School District. This is your chance. The program that's open May 20th through June 7th. It is limited school of choice program, limited slots. So of course, first come, first serve. If you want to find out more information, you want to get your kids involved, you want them to have something to do, get them more involved in academics, apply and learn more at wbsd.org/parents/STEAM, STAM. check that out so you can get more information. Also apply. And if you want to just find out other information and keep it handy on your phone and whatnot, you can check it out on social media. Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools also. And since we are giving appreciation to our students and local community and things of that nature, it's always a good time to honor medical heroes that are on the front line, specifically right here in our West Bloomfield community, and even some of those who may have some pause. The Splash Live's very own reporter, Jake Schaff, has the story.
Hospitals aren't typically known as the warmest of places, as they come with both a lot of sickness and a lot of sadness. But the great people here at Henry Ford Hospital in West Bloomfield know exactly how to put smiles on their patients' faces, all with the help of some furry friends. With the Sally and Bob Goldman Therapy Dog Program, doctors and nurses bring eager and energetic dogs all over the hospital to warm up their patients and to help make their days just a little bit brighter.
The Goldman Therapy Dog Program is in the West Bloomfield Hospital. It's in the hospital downtown and in several other Henry Ford facilities. The job of the program is basically to lift the mood of the room. It's for patients, it's for staff, it's for visitors into the hospital. And again, the whole idea is when people come to a hospital, there's not a lot of great things happening. They're in the hospital because they're not feeling well, or they're in the hospital to visit a loved one. The idea is to just give them a few moments to feel much better, to boost their morale, to bring a smile, to bring some calm into their day. I was just in a room prior to this with a therapy dog, and the mom said, you know, I would come to this hospital just because I know that dogs are going to be there.
How many dogs do you have with the program?
The program currently has 8 dogs that are owned by the program, and to add to that, we have owner-handled dogs, of which we have 41. We have George, who is about 5.5 years old, who is a golden retriever. And we have Josie, who is a yellow lab. She's also about 5 years old. So they're seasoned veterans. They know their way around the hospital, and they both have huge fan clubs in the hospital. They've been here for a while, and it's not unusual to be walking down the hallway to have somebody chase you down to say, wait, I haven't seen George or I haven't seen Josie yet today.
How does that morale help people with the other things they're dealing with, whatever those may be in the hospital?
Anytime you have a respite, a moment of morale boost, a moment to smile, it lasts a lot longer than the moment that you have it. Plus, if you want to get technical, heart rates go down, blood pressures go down, endorphin levels go up, which is kind of the happy hormone. Cortisol goes down, which is something that you get with stress. So it has a lot of physiological benefits as well. It's one of those ultimate win-win situations. The dogs win, they get loving. The people win because they're not being judged and they had a moment to smile and feel better. A parent feels better because maybe their child who's in the hospital smiled for the first time today. So it really has a wonderful ripple effect.
It's almost as if the dogs are like the secret additional doctors of the Henry Ford Hospital.
It really is. I tell people the dogs are like the doctors. They make people feel better. The only difference is you don't get a big bill at the end. It's for free. They never judge. They're happy to see you no matter if your hair isn't looking so good that day, if your makeup isn't straight that day. They're just happy to see you. They're not judging. They're just there to make you feel better. And let's face it, we can all use a little bit of that.
Such a wonderful cause and such adorable dogs. I'm almost tempted to try to sneak one of them out myself. Maybe they won't notice. But these dogs are truly some of the lesser-known heroes of the Henry Ford Hospital in West Bloomfield, and it's only fair for these dogs to finally have their day. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you so much for that story, Jake. Very touching, very, very comforting to know what they're doing. I guess in the year 2000, when the Baja man asked who let the dogs out, we should have said Keith Fishman at the Henry Ford Hospital in West Bloomfield. And those for a good cause, obviously, so patients can have love and hope and good comfort and companionship without judgment. Sometimes, yeah, I do want to talk to someone, but sometimes I don't. I just want to talk to somebody who wants to just lick me in the face as a response. So if you want to get more information, go to Facebook at Henry Ford Health or go directly to the website henryford.com. So speaking of health, wealth, and staying good, in good shape, and good spirits as the summer starts to approach, we're getting a little bit of consistent weather, so that means we will eventually start to see people out on the water, enjoying their boats, renting boats, things of that nature. And as we approach Memorial Day weekend, we know that will occur. So joining us on the Splash Live to talk about boating safety, specifically here in Oakland County, we have from the Specialized Units Patrol Services Division of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, joining the Splash Live. And before we get started, Lieutenant, I just want to mention, like, we've already recently had some incidents out on the water already, unfortunately. And as we start off, would you please just give us some background information on what happened with those incidents?
Sheriff's Office has two recent boating accidents that occurred on Orchard Lake. No fatalities, no injuries.
Good.
But, anytime the weather's warming up and people are taking boats out, boater safety, it starts right at the dock, we tell people. And, even before you leave your driveway, if you're towing a boat with, checking your boat trailer and making sure you're ready to be on the road. And, we always encourage people to take a boater safety class. We offer those free here at the Sheriff's Office. And that's a free service that we offer, a couple classes a month. So, if you're going to venture out on the water, especially this time of year, this is the perfect time before you go out on the water.
Correct.
to take a time and open up those cabinets on the boat and make sure you have your rescue gear with you, your life jackets, and the proper equipment before even going on the water.
Absolutely. Just like we said, make sure you're being proactive before you're being reactive, making sure you're checking all those boxes, dotting your I's, crossing your T's before we even take the boat off our property. Exactly. One thing that you just informed me of that I'm not sure if the community is aware of, that you all offer boater safety classes that are free, correct? Can you talk a little bit more about those classes? What type of information is being shared in those?
Absolutely. If you're going to go out on the water, you need to know the rules. The laws that exist are designed to keep you safe. And one of the things that the Sheriff's Office offers is the free service. You can go to the DNR website to register for those classes. Our Sheriff's Office, currently, I think we do more classes than anyone in the state with boater safety, hunting education. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office offers those services right here at our search and rescue building.
Mm-hmm.
And we do about 2 to 3 classes a month in various topics. And it's a great family event. You can come on out and get certified in boater safety to understand what those rules on lakes are. And, they focus on a lot of good safety information. We do tell people, life jackets are a lot like your seatbelts. They don't work if you don't wear them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to have those life jackets with you and understand, some of the safety things that go into before you venture out on the water.
Of course. Hey. So, of course, Lieutenant. They don't want to wear the life jackets. They're not cool. We're out there on the boat. We're trying to have a good time. We don't want to wear those. It's cramping our style. I want to show off my outfit, my bikini. But like Lieutenant Burwell just said, please wear it. It's safety. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that everyone is safe at the end of the day. We want to have a good time too. And we're dealing with boats, something that's different from cars on the road. Now it's a different type of space and atmosphere, but nonetheless, I feel like we need to be even more careful because we're involving water also. But getting back to boater safety real quick, Lieutenant Burwell, are there any common misconceptions about boater safety and or any common incidents that you have encountered in your career that people seem to commonly or consistently kind of come across?
Well, one thing we always remind people is that, life jackets float and you don't. So I know some people don't like wearing the life jackets. So you said that,
Right.
for various reasons, but, having those life jackets on are, important, especially if you find yourself in the water when you weren't expecting it. One of the common things we do see on the lake is something as simple as running out of fuel on the boat. People on the water and next thing you know, they don't have enough fuel to get in. Certainly, cell phones are always an issue or other electronic devices. People get out on the water and they're distracted very easily with boating accidents. Oakland County's got a tremendous amount of waterway from our parks, rivers, and streams. It's a great time of the year to get out here and enjoy it. And the Sheriff's Office just wants to remind people that we want you to be safe out there, and we offer those services. We do have our Marine patrols out there. The Sheriff's Office maintains a 24/7 response for any rescues on the water. We're also part of the Southeast Michigan Dive Group, which we coordinate. So But we always want people safe out there, and we try to educate the public as we go along. But a lot of stuff just starts right at the dock, putting the boat into the water where people are injured at that dock, just trying to put their boat in because maybe they're not familiar with the launching or things of that nature.
Right. No. And I love that you kind of painted that picture and gave a little bit more perspective regarding that too, because I don't want people to necessarily just take that for granted, the whole life jacket thing, or being distracted by a cell phone too. Like you would think that only applies to being driving on the road, but it goes to being on the water also. But just to reset the show, join the Splash Live right now, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, Specialized Units Patrol Service Division for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Join us to talk about boating safety, recent boating incidents that have happened, and how we can all be proactive and make sure we can prevent those accidents from happening in the first place. So essentially, Lieutenant, if you don't mind, are there any rules, local ordinances, laws that people should be aware of before they take off on these boats or anything like that also?
Well, and there's a few things too that go hand in hand, and it's something as simple as the little things people miss, like checking the weather before they go out in the water. And the two recent accidents we had in Orchard Lake involved sailboats with poor weather conditions that people ventured out into. So checking the weather before you hit the water is something that's very important. The other thing is understanding that you do need a motor safety card if you're operating a PWC. Same thing with operating a boat, so you want to take that motor safety class to educate yourself. But the other thing is as simple as leaving a float plan before you leave your house. If your family doesn't know where you're going, what lake you're on, and you don't return, so leaving what they call a float plan, saying, hey, I'm going to head out to Orchard Lake. We're going to park at the Orchard Lake boat launch. We should be on the water by 9 a.m. We're planning on coming off by 5 p.m.
Good point.
If that person doesn't return home,
Good point.
you have some information to provide to law enforcement to help locate them.
Yep. No, that's a solid point too. Yeah, let someone know where you are, what time you plan on coming back. Because that way, if someone is keeping track and notice that they haven't heard from you,
Absolutely.
You can have lost cell phone signal out in the water or whatever, dropped your cell phone, whatever the case may be. That was a solid point. Thank you for bringing that up also, Lieutenant. So when we're dealing with water and we're dealing with, let's just say, 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend, those are very busy times, right? So we can probably expect a lot of people on these waters at the same time. Any advice for boaters, maybe first-time boaters or just boaters in general, when it comes to being on the water with crowded, with a lot of boats occupying at that time?
Well, we always tell people, and we one of the things to remember is as a boater, as an owner of a boat or as an operator of a boat, if you're taking people out, you have a responsibility to get them back in safely. Certainly people are consuming alcohol on the water, understanding that alcohol is going to have a greater effect on you on the water. The elements are on you, the sun, the wind. The boat is moving. So sometimes when people are on a lake, they consume a little more because they're dehydrated and they don't always realize that the alcohol is affecting them more.
Yeah.
And when you're out there on a holiday weekend and obviously the 4th of July is extremely busy on the lakes and people are enjoying themselves. But just understanding that alcohol is going to have a greater effect on you when you are on the water, when the sun's beating down on you, and remembering you have to get back in safely. And, the other thing too that people sometimes forget around the holiday season is the lakes are crowded. And again, if you don't know the rules of the water and you're just out there, one of the things we see in our county that is a problem is with rental boats. If you're going to rent a boat, make sure you're going to a licensed livery that's been inspected by the sheriff's office. A lot of times people go online, they rent a boat from a private party. It's not a registered boat that's licensed by the state to be rented. Those boats that are licensed are inspected by the sheriff's office for safety. And the year before last, I think we took 7 boats out of service in our county that were unsafe. We closed down 6 illegal liveries that were operating without safety to the public. Several of these crafts were not water-worthy, seaworthy to be out there. So those are things that the public should just take in mind when renting boats and things like that.
Oh, no, you were spot on with that. I would just imagine not everyone who's out there on a boat owns that boat. So I would imagine there's a certain significant portion who are renting boats and could possibly be a little bit more careless with them also, with that being said. So great key points right there. That's pretty much everything I have. Any other information for the community regarding that we may have not discussed, or just people want to get information from you or anything like that you want to give out, please, Lieutenant?
The one thing we want to make sure people know is that the sheriff's office is available 24/7 for questions, things of that nature. We always are willing to come out to an association and talk about boat safety, but when our deputies are out on the water, we love interacting with the public. If the public has a question for us, please stop one of the deputies. We absolutely love having positive interactions with people. And if you got a question, you don't know something, you're unsure of something, or even at the boat launch, we have some of our officers there. If it's your first time launching a boat and you're not sure on something, we're always approachable, and we want to be there to make sure you have a safe summer.
Absolutely. Hey, you hit it right on the nail. Thank you so much for opening up, letting people know that you are a resource. They can come and see you if they need to. Make sure they are being proactive instead of reactive. Thank you again, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, Specialized Units Patrol Services Division for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate you.
Thank you again, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, joining the Splash Live, talking about information we all need to know about boating safety. Yes, when the weather gets great, especially if it's good for Memorial Day weekend, it's on. Everybody's going to hit the water that they possibly can. So please be safe. And also, please remember, I am interested in joining the party on the boat. So please feel free to reach out to me if you want to invite me. But anyway, you want to find out more information about those boating lessons and anything else that Oakland County Sheriff's Office has to offer regarding boating information, please visit their website, oakgov.com/sheriff. Or, of course, you can visit them on social media, Facebook at OCSO Michigan, for more information regarding boater information. So as we kind of continue to talk about relative topics that do with the spring and the summer, talking about flowers, right? I bet you're cutting your grass a little bit more often than you used to. And some of that comes with native plants. Now, some people may or may not care, but just in case you don't give a damn, I'm going to give you some great information in regards to benefits to these native plants. You'll understand what I said right there in just a minute. So joining the Splash Live right now to give us some information, West Bloomfield resident as well as author and illustrator, we have Sally Winslow joining the Splash Live to tell us a little bit more about the fun and unique uses for native plants. Thank you for joining us, Sally.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. I decided to be outside today. I thought it was fitting,
I know, right? Great setting for the topic that we're talking about right now. These native plants, can I just set the scene? First and foremost, me and Tyler talked about this topic maybe earlier in the week or whatever the case may be. My first thought with native plants were like dandelions and the little things that you pick up that you blow and the little things go everywhere. Now, I believe those are weeds, but I thought those are like native plants also. Can you just tell us, are those native plants, and what are native plants here in Michigan?
Okay, well, just to kind of switch it around, I'm talking about just wild plants in general.
Okay.
So you got your native plants, and then you just got your wild plants that are growing all around you in your habitat. So we do have, just to plug, we've got a native plant sale for West Bloomfield Parks coming up this weekend, and pre-order is happening right now. Nice. Register, get your plants right now. So those are all completely native from the Great Lakes region, we'll say, from Michigan. But what I am focusing on is really just foraging the plants that are available in your yard, in your habitat. And they aren't all native. Dandelion was actually brought here in the 1600s from the Europeans. So it was like a Eurasian medicinal plant. They brought it here for a reason, because it is a medicine plant. They put it in their gardens because they wanted it. And I'll tell you, dandelion, every part of that plant is a healthy, is medicinal. You got the taproot that is dried and made into tea. You got the leaves that you can eat that are full of calcium and iron, and then the flowers, like pictured right there, that I made into dandelion jelly this year. And I gave one to Dave Scott yesterday, I think. Delicious, really delicious. It's a way to get the kids interested in the plants that are growing around them. But yeah, dandelion, here's the thing. So my daughter, I was talking to her about this. She said, well, Mom, what is a weed? What's the what is the definition of a weed? I said, well, let's look it up. And this is kind of funny. So dictionary.com says a weed is a valueless plant growing wild on cultivated ground that will injure a desired crop. And the thing is, the desired crop around the suburbs is turf grass. And it's really not a crop, but we treat it as such.
Right.
We want to get rid of these dandelions because they're, obnoxious. So it's any undesirable or troublesome plant. But I want to change that definition.
Right, please.
I would like to change that definition. So I'm teaching a class coming up a week from today. It's called, what do we call it? Your Natural Edible Yard Unlawning. And I'm going to talk about the different types of plants. I have a whole bunch here on my table with me. Besides dandelion, and everybody gets a jar of dandelion jelly. All the students who take the class get to take one home, plus we're going to be sampling it in class. So we've got, this one is a weed.
Okay.
This is called ground ivy, and it's got a beautiful purple flower. Oh, people just hate this stuff because it takes over their precious cultivated crop that is a lawn, that is turf grass, that doesn't do anything for the environment. But this was, in the old days, this is one of the first things to come up in the spring, and they would use this to make beer or mead because it's really got this pungent kind of minty. It's in the mint family, and if you eat it, I'll show you right here. I'll eat it for you.
Oh, she's eating it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's eating it. She's ate it.
So
Oh.
it's got this fresh minty aroma, and you can see why they would want to add it to like a spirit, to when they're coming out of their hibernation all winter. This is one of the first things that they would eat, like wake up.
Whoa.
You want me to keep going? I got more.
No. Okay, so I got, oh my goodness, there's a lot going on. Yeah, no, what is that? Okay, so if you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see the plants. Continue, Sally, please.
Okay, so this is called dock, D-O-C-K. Now, dock, this is a native. And here's the baby one. You want to eat this one. I'm going to do it for you. Ready? This one is loaded with vitamin C. I just picked this out of my yard this morning. Loaded with vitamin C. It's like, it's got a lot of oxalates in it though. Like if you eat too much, like kale, if you're just eating it every day, oxalates they'll form like kidney stones if you eat too much. So just, take it easy on the doc.
Got you. Okay.
It's really pumped. This is like a superfood right here, the dock.
Okay.
And when you see it growing later in the year, it gets this tall brown stalk, yeah.
That is kind of hard to convince people that dandelions and the other plants that you've shown that most people consider weeds, it's very hard to change their mindset to make them believe this is edible. You literally just ate them live on the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. And we even have more. Please continue.
Okay. So this, you probably recognize this, and they'll start selling this in the stores in the spring. This is a dandelion leaf. And this is your typical, this is a nice big one that I picked on the side of the yard. It was growing kind of in the shade in some loose soil. So these dandelion leaves, again, packed full of calcium, iron, and here's what the dandelion does. It's a really smart plant. It drives that taproot really deep down to pump up the minerals from deep in the soil into these leaves. So when you put it in your salad,
she's eating
you put it in your salad or your stir fry or your eggs in the morning. It's a little bitter, but once you eat it and you realize how good these plants make you feel, it's almost like clears the brain fog. It clears the brain fog away. And you feel in the springtime, you're just eating fistful of these things. So
Sally, that's a whole nother level of veganism that I don't think most people are even ready for right now. That's beyond. I know that's going beyond it. Right. I love it. Hey, but right now, join us on the Splash Live, giving us some great information about the fun and unique uses for our native plants and wildflowers and wild plants or weeds, whatever you want to call them here in Michigan. West Bloomfield resident as well as author and illustrator Sally Wenzel joining us to talk about different uses, and I also have some of your dandelion jelly right here. Just gave it a smell live on the Splash. It smells so fresh. That's the first thing that comes. It smells so native and fresh. I can't wait.
On some toast with a little butter or some biscuits.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to get to that eventually. So let's get to the process of making this jam. And this is technically jelly, right? Let's get to the
Jelly,
process of making this from dandelions. Can you explain that? Just the simplest process.
Oh, sure. So what I'm going to teach in the class is just a simple recipe, and you can YouTube this, and there are so many videos of these ladies in their kitchens just teaching you how to do this stuff, and they're really fun to watch. And I found one that I really liked. So you are going to go out and pick your jar, like a quart jar full of dandelions first, about a quart, like this big. Fill it up. Then this is the hard part now. You got to take all the yellow flower parts off the green. And that's going to take a while. So put on Netflix, put on some music.
She loves me not.
And you just sit there and you take some time. But and I'm thinking the pioneers did this. People did this. This is good for me. Like meditate, you just get it done. Once you separate all that, then you're going to put it in, put some boiling water over those petals. And you make a tea out of it. You let it sit overnight. You don't have to let it sit overnight. I do to get more flavor.
Right.
So once you get that tea, then you're going to strain it out, strain all the flower parts out with a cheesecloth. If you don't have cheesecloth, use a t-shirt. Use some kind of fabric. Squeeze all that good medicinal juice out of there. And then you're going to put it on your stove. Add the sugar. You got to add the sugar. I mean, a lot of people, they don't like the sugar, but you can't make good jelly without some kind of sweetener. So I use the sugar recipe. It just works.
Okay.
And then you add fruit pectin, which is going to make the jelly. But the whole canning process, if you're going to can and preserve it long term, you need to make sure you sanitize your jars, boil them so you're getting all the bacteria out of there. Very clean process. Boil the jars. Get a good, big, huge pot. My mom gave me mine. It sat in my basement for 10 years. I finally used it. So, you got to get some supplies. There it is. Get your big, they call it a canning bath. So you're giving your jars a bath for about 10 minutes. You just boil them for 10 minutes. And then that little pop sound,
right.
When the jar pops, when you take them out of there, they all pop, 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 pop. They start sealing. And, then you're good to go. Then you can give them away as gifts or keep them for yourself.
Nice.
It's fun.
Some
It's
fresh
fun.
dandelion jelly straight from the yard. Now that is a cool thing to do right there, Sally. So let's just do this right now. So overall from this conversation, I've gotten that there are benefits and different uses that we can have for these native plants, these wild plants or weeds, what people call dandelions, et cetera, that you just shown. But
Troublesome plants.
troublesome plants, right? They're not there to cause trouble. But the point is, for the average person listening, they say, okay, so I can make jelly, I can do jam, and I can eat them, this, et cetera, et cetera. How can we really make a determination between what is edible, what is beneficial, and what is something that's harmful to us also? I'm gonna be honest. I'm from the generation of thinking like a Pokédex. I know that doesn't exist. Okay, there you go. Please promote. Please continue.
Yes. So this is one book I recommend, and this will help you properly identify. And that is one thing you got to be 100%, 1,000% sure that what you're eating is, in fact, what you think you're eating, what you want to be eating, that edible plant. So this is a really great book. Another one I recommend, this is written by a Native American professor. This one is excellent. Plants have so much to give us. All we have to do is ask.
Okay.
And it goes into a little bit of the folklore, and she goes into some storytelling about the plants, and there's lots of recipes in here. One that I really want to try, they do breaded dandelion flowers with cornmeal, and then you fry them up, little treats. Really great book here. Here's one more. This one is, I lost the cover to it. All the geese are honking. You hear them? This is called Eating on the Wild Side. So this one really explains a lot about why the geese are so loud. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Quiet down. So this one explains how over time, we have cultivated plants and they've become less and less nutritious. For one, because of the food mile. The food mile is like they're shipped from 1,000 miles away, and every hour that they're in that truck or being shipped in that box, they're losing nutrition.
Wow.
So phytonutrients, which is just another name for plant nutrients, are the strongest and most powerful and good for your body for the less time they come out of the soil, so you put it in your mouth.
Gotcha.
So just to put in perspective, like you see those carrots in the grocery store with the green tops on them, and they're dirty. They're like real carrots. Those are the ones you want to buy because they have the most nutrition. You don't want to buy those little cut up nubs in the plastic bag.
Right.
So just for example, like the fresher, the better.
Absolutely. Great ways to take advantage. Pay attention to the food that you consume too, especially the fresh fruits and vegetables like Sally just explained. Thank you so much again for your time, Sally. And once again, before we go, native plant sale going on with the classes that you're teaching. Just give out more information, please.
Sure will. So the West Bloomfield Park's native plant sale is this weekend. The pickup is at Marshbank Park. Did I write this down? Saturday, May 18th, 9 to 12, Marshbank Park. But you have to pre-order now online. So go online, search West Bloomfield Park's native plants. I think a big email went out to everybody recently.
Right.
My class, you can also register for online. You can also call if you're more comfortable calling to register that way. And I'd love to have you, and we can discuss more. We're going to discuss how to make bee sting salve out of plantain. We're going to have those spring rolls pictured there. A little feast at the end of the presentation. So I'd love to.
Well, thank you again so much. We appreciate it. West Bloomfield resident, author, and illustrator Sally Wenzel joining the Splash Live, telling us about native plants and the native plant sale. We appreciate you for your time, Sally.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. What a treat. Literally, dandelion jelly. Who knew that you can make jelly from dandelions? That's pretty sweet, right? No pun intended. But you want to find out more information about that event, the native plant sale, and more just in general, go to Facebook at WB Parks, or of course you can go directly to the website, wbparks.org. Find out more about the native plant sale and how you can take advantage and look into some plants yourself, right? So like we said earlier, it is National Police Week. We want to celebrate National Police Week specifically by honoring our local police officers. And we want to actually give some of them their flowers while they are here and thank them for their service. So joining the Splash Live right now from the West Bloomfield Police Department, we have Sergeant Azretta Yumney joining the Splash Live right now. Thank you so much for your time, Sergeant.
Thank you for having me here today, Kevin.
Absolutely. So, it's National Police Week. First and foremost, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything. We appreciate you. So, from your perspective as a sergeant, what does National Police Week even mean to you?
Well, as a sergeant, I am also on the Honor Guard team where we go down to Washington, D.C. every year during National Police Week. So it really does hit home. We honor our fallen officers that have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
No, that's correct. And with that being said, part of National Police Week is also Peace Officers Memorial Day, which pays homage and tribute to the local, state, and federal law enforcement officers who made that ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. So once again, thank you to all the officers who have given their lives in the line of duty also. So essentially, can you share any experiences, reflections on the significance on National Police Week? Anything that you've learned from National Police Week or just from your other officers in general?
Absolutely. Over the last couple of years, we've had several line of duty deaths, and we've attended so many funerals and contributing by providing casket watch and meeting these families and, loved ones and friends who have, lost a loved one. And, here at the West Bloomfield Police Department, we've also lost one of our own in the line of duty, Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke, in 2012.
Yes. Sorry about the loss too. Yes, and
Thank you.
And that's another thing. Like we said, just continuing to pay homage to those who gave their lives in the line of duty. At the end of the day, everyone is a resident. Everyone has a family that they want to go back to. So we want to make sure that it's a very, very tough job, and I don't think too many people actually understand and recognize that. So we appreciate you giving a little bit more perspective. Also, is the
Thank you.
West Bloomfield Police Department doing any anything special to recognize National Police Week?
Yes, we are. We currently have Honor Guard members right now representing us in Washington, D.C., providing several details during National Police Week. They actually just attended the candlelight visual, which was on Monday, where people all across the world and mainly the United States are coming together to, pay their respects to those who they lost in 2023.
Right. And that's good. That's good to honor those who did, spend time in a line of service, especially here specifically in the line of duty of West Bloomfield. Join us right now on the Splash Live from the West Bloomfield Police Department, Sergeant Asrita Yumney joining us to talk about National Police Week and National Peace Officers Memorial Day, just to put that out there. So just from your perspective and your experience, we want to get some insight from the inside, right? So there could be some misconceptions from the public in regards to what police officers, specifically here in the West Bloomfield Police Department, does. Can you give a little bit of insight into some of the challenges that you all face, what the day in the life is like for you all, any misconceptions that you may hear that you want to debunk right now for the community?
Well, as of this week, National Law Enforcement Police Week, we honor the men and women in law enforcement who are putting their lives on the line every day to serve our public, to serve our community. And thankfully here in the West Bloomfield community, we have huge support from everyone. They are always thankful for, everything that we do. And we are very honored to have that.
Right. Good. And that's a good thing, because that actually, I wouldn't say that, but what I will say is it's good that you get the support from the department that you need. And it's also important to get support from the community also, in some sort of way. But going back, I want to revisit that perspective from the community. But going back to the police department first, how do you feel, or can you explain how the West Bloomfield Police Department prioritizes their officers' safety? I know recently you all were hiring and looking for officers, but just for the people who may be interested in law enforcement in general, can you just talk about, like we said, the safety that you all prioritize for each other?
Absolutely. We go over officer safety. We have multiple in-house trainings. We send our brand new officers to a police academy where they will learn, the basic fundamentals on being safe, keeping everybody else safe. And every year we continue our training, and we're constantly advancing on making sure that we protect our officers as well as the rest of the community. So
that kind of had me think about something else when you brought that up. I know when you initially go into the police academy, there's the police academy, there's the training. Is there some type of continued training, continued education that must be done on an annual basis or frequent basis to be an officer for West Bloomfield?
Yes, we do that here at the West Bloomfield Police Department, and it is an annual training that we provide in service.
Great insight. See, I don't think too many people know about that. We hear a lot of people talk about the police academy in general, but you don't hear about the consistent training and a reflection that you all have to do within the department to make sure that you are sharp on certain things. Now, let's get into the public and the community's perception or perspective, I should say. How can we as a community support our officers? What can we do? How can we actually help close that gap, that relationship gap between our officers and the community also?
Sure. Like I mentioned earlier, here at the West Bloomfield Police Department, we are surrounded by so much support from our community, and we are so grateful for that. Just a nice conversation or a smile or a wave is just what we need to know that we are doing what we need to do to make them happy and protect them as well.
That's good. Yes. And that's part of our job here, Splash Live. Make sure we get that word out to the community, which we are doing here on Civic Center TV as well as 89.3 Lakes FM. Just had to put that out there. So you are naturally, just not to say naturally, but with that being said, you are off the clock, off duty. You are a resident. You are a part of this community just like everyone else. Just talk about how you balance being just a regular local resident of the community and being a sworn law enforcement sergeant for the community. Talk about that balance right there, because technically, I like to say this, but maybe you can clarify, you're technically never off duty, correct?
Well, correct. When you're home with your family, you protect your family and you have them as your best interest. And, I have younger brothers and sisters who, I continue to be a role model for regardless of my position at the police department.
Okay. Yeah, see, and like I said, I understand it's a 24/7 job and you always have to be on alert. We've even had stories of officers in the community just enjoying dinner with their family and then having to jump into action just at a restaurant and things of that nature. So once again, we want to applaud you. We want to thank you and the entire department, by the way. I'm speaking for the entire Splash Live team as well as Civic Center TV and West Bloomfield in general, the entire community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Any last words, parting words, important information for the community before we officially let you go?
I just want to say thank you, Kevin. Thank you for everything. And thank you to the community for constantly providing all the support that they have. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again. Joining us here on the Splash Live, West Bloomfield Police Department, Sergeant Asrita Yumney. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very, very important that we recognize, acknowledge our local law enforcement officers, Kego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield also. They are humans at the end of the day. They don't shower with the badge on. They are regular people. They have families. So treat them with respect. You may see them out in the community enjoying certain things at WB parks, etc., etc. So please show them respect. Show them the honor that they deserve. You want to find out more a little bit about National Police Week, you can visit their Facebook at West Bloomfield PD. And as a matter of fact, if you are interested in entering to be a law enforcement officer, start a career in law enforcement, West Bloomfield Police Department is hiring right now. As a matter of fact, they are hiring and looking for police service aides, paying $22 an hour just to start. My goodness, what is the criteria? Part-time right now, so they're saying a minimum of 32 hours per week. That sounds pretty good. Front desk work, answering phones, if you want to call it customer service, just, tending to people who may enter the department, writing reports, gun registration, all the exciting action of being part of the West Bloomfield Police Department. That's where the action really is, by the way. So you want to find out more? Also apply. Applications are open now through Friday, May 17th. So hurry right now. Go to the website, wbtownship.org/jobs. If you are not interested, make sure you also tell a friend to tell a friend, because it may be something that they are interested in also. Talking about local things going on in the community, we want to talk about best-selling author coming to the West Bloomfield Library very, very soon. As a matter of fact, let's say today, Wednesday, May 15th, 6 p.m., New York Times best-selling historical fiction author Melanie Benjamin will be at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, May 15th, 6 p.m. She will be there speaking about her many different works that she has going on. The Aviator's Wife, The Swans of Fifth Avenue, California Golden, The Girls in the Picture, just to name a few. Very, very well-worked author right there, and you can have your chance to see her in person. She is also signing and selling books. Please check that out and support her. Another fun event you can go out and thank the Friends of the West Bloomfield Library for also. In order to attend, please make sure you also register. You want to do that, find out more, West Bloomfield LIB on Facebook and WBLIB.org also if you want to find out more information. Speaking of things to do, we love to tell you things to do. Don't just sit in the house, sit in the office, bored, wondering, what can I do with my family? How can I get out of the house? I got the thing for you, especially for the kids, right? It's all about the kids. The Kids Commotion Concert is returning at WB Parks, an exciting event for the kids and for the community. And join us here on the Splash Live to talk about the Kids Commotion Concert Series at Marchbank Park. We have Megan Tahako of West Bloomfield Parks Marketing and Communications Manager. Megan, thank you so much for joining us. And can you tell us a little bit more about what we can expect from the Kids Commotion Concert Series?
The series includes 3 concerts throughout the summer. So there will be one in May, another one in June, and another one in August.
Nice. I'm just thinking of all the songs that my son has me listening to on a very consistent and frequent basis. I'm just thinking about the repetitiveness of it, but the kids are going to love this. I can just imagine just going out there, being around other kids, having a chance to be outside, run around. And it's not even just about music. We have a few other things going on too. Can you just talk about other activities, attractions that you all have planned outside of just music?
Sure. So the series is great. It's completely free. You can come. You don't have to register. You can just show up with your family, your friends, and there's all kinds of things to do. So our event partner, the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, will be hosting a free craft station. The Optimist Club of West Bloomfield will be there selling some food, some snacks, ice cream, different things. And they use that as a fundraiser to help support their programs that support the youth in our community. And then there will be a variety of free inflatables for the kids to enjoy. There's a few different sizes. So there's some for the little kids and there's some for the slightly older kids. And then we also have a fairy tale character that will be roaming around the audience, interacting with the kids, taking pictures, just having some fun engagement. So at our first concert, we have the Snow Queen coming.
The Snow Queen. Oh, that is perfect time. The Snow Queen's coming during the spring and the summer. What a spectacular visit we are expecting. You talked about a lot of different things, Megan. First and foremost, I just have to be random and immature and ask this. When you say the inflatable for the big kids, do you mean like big kids or do you mean like a certain age? Let's just make some clarification there.
I mean, like the ages 5 to 7, probably.
Oh, Megan, where's mine? Okay, I'm joking. No, this is for the kids, so we appreciate that. But you also spoke on the fact that there's different sizes inflatables for the different kids. That makes me think that you and your department are thinking about safety, thinking about consideration. Let's get into safety. How are you all ensuring safety for all kids and all people involved when it comes to this event?
Sure. So all of our inflatables are staffed, whether it's from us or we partner with Oakland County Parks to offer a lot of our inflatables. So they're never on their own. There's always a trusted adult watching and making sure that they're being safe while they're in those inflatables because they are really fun, but there is, some risk involved, certainly. And then we always partner, with the police department. They come to all of our major events just to check in with families, interact with them. It's a great opportunity for them to get to know the families in our community. So they're always welcome to come to any events and they almost always show up. So we're always happy to have them there as a added presence at our large community events.
Exactly. You said it the best too. And I just want to put a reminder out there, or not even a reminder, to let everyone, socks are required for the bounce houses. So make sure, even if you show up flip-flops with no socks, bring some socks so that your kids can jump and enjoy the inflatable bounce houses. Join us right now on the Splash Live, talking a little bit more about Kids Commotion Concert Series at WB Parks. We have Marketing and Communications Manager Megan Tahako joining us, telling us everything that has to do with this. But you just touched on something that I feel like we need to highlight a little bit more, right? And we always have to talk about this, Megan. The importance of these type of events for the community. Now, I want to say this because WB Park specifically puts on a lot of different events, right? Different age groups, different people, different, interests and things of that nature. So now we're focusing specifically on the youth. So just talk about the importance of throwing events like this for the youth within the West Bloomfield community.
I always enjoy these types of events because you can see just neighbors, schoolmates, all kinds of people that know each other outside of the park, coming together or just bumping into each other. And there really is such a sense of community here. And it's just great to really see those interactions and little kids, which this event definitely is kind of tailored towards. They make everyone their friend, right? So it's so cute to see the kids toddling around. They'll go up to families they don't know and, introduce themselves by just sitting down on their blanket or, wanting to play with some toys they might have over there. So there is some just organic, friendship making that happens at this type of event, which is really cool too.
I got kind of a random question. It's not random like that, but what you just said, that just made me think, anything memorable has ever happened at one of these kids commotions events that you can think of? Like, was you just talking about, people sharing blankets? Those are just great moments that we want, people interacting with strangers or just, reconnecting with people within the community. Any other memorable moments within these kid commotions that you can think of?
I wouldn't say like a specific memory necessarily. One of my favorite parts is the entertainers that we bring in are really tailored to working with children. And so they really get the kids up and moving and dancing and interacting with each other. And there's just nothing cuter than seeing, 1 to 3 year olds dancing, because they just have the goofiest like dance moves. And so that's always my favorite part, is these entertainers really just get all the kids down on the stage and they're all dancing and doing all kinds of goofy things. And it's just really, really fun to watch.
Absolutely. And that's just like you said, it's about bringing the community together, the residents, the patrons, the people who work for the city and for the parks also. Just to highlight also the concerts, and you correct me if I'm wrong, they will proceed in light rain, but cancellations will be announced on social media channels if necessary, correct?
That's correct. Yep. So we'll try our very best to have the event. If it's raining a little bit, we'll just tell people to pack their umbrellas and their raincoats.
Yeah.
Certainly, if there's any type of lightning, thunder, unsafe weather conditions.
Oh yeah, we're out of there. Yeah, for sure. And we will notify the community well ahead of time if that happens. We'll do the same thing here on Splash Live, Civic Center TV, if we have to, at 89.3 Lakes FM. One other part of the event I want to mention very briefly, because this is very important also. The event is sponsored by Bright Behavior Therapy, National Flag Football, and Henry Ford Health Go Health Urgent Care. You just talk about the role and the importance of support from sponsors to make events like this happen. Let's highlight and give them the appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely. So this event is completely free. There are certainly a lot of costs involved with hosting a large free event. So our sponsors, along with our event partner, the library, they really help us kind of divide and conquer and make it so that we can offer these free events to the community. Our sponsors will be on site, so please stop by their tables, thank them for their support. A lot of our community events just wouldn't be possible without that business support that we receive.
Absolutely. And then, like you said, on top of the sponsors, we have local organizations, the Optimus Club that will be participating, West Bloomfield Public Township Library, obviously they're being a great help. But like you said, we want to highlight the sponsors who are definitely making this possible and making it a free event with all things that are involved that cost. So thank you again to Bright Behavior Therapy, National Flag Football, Henry Ford Health, Go Health, Urgent Care also. Last thing before we get out of here, or, unless I come up with another question, just any other important information that we should know about regarding this event or just other events when it comes to West Bloomfield Parks, Megan?
Yeah, so I would just recommend that people put these dates on their calendar for the Kids Commotion Concert Series. We try to offer both evening and daytime opportunities, and that's for different, parents have lots of different work schedules, so we try to offer a variety of times just so that as many people as possible can take advantage. So our first concert that's on May 16th is from 5 to 7. Our second concert, which is on June 20th, is from 10 a.m. to noon. And then our third concert is on August 22nd, again from 10 a.m. to noon.
Nice. Okay, and I got to highlight this too. I want to make sure my notes are correct. The first act for the May 16th concert is the Funny Dumplings. Is that correct?
That's correct, yep. We've had them at the park before, and they are always a fan favorite, so we're very happy to welcome them back.
Oh, Megan, I can't wait. I got a song in my heart. So much to learn about. It'll make you want to shout.
Maybe we can have you do one of our Kids Commotion.
Hey, don't get me started. I'll come up there in a Blippi outfit. Shout out to my new parents. They know about Blippi. But thank you again, Megan. So much information about the Kids Commotion Concert Series at WB Parks on the Splash Live right now. Thanking her for telling us all about it. Marketing and Communications Manager, Megan Tahago. Thank you so much for the information.
Thanks, Kevin. Have a great day.
Thank you again to Megan Tahako for joining us here on the Splash Live to talk more about the Kids Commotion Concert Series at Marchbank Park. It's going to be a great event. You're going to find out more about that event and what West Bloomfield Parks has in store on their Facebook at WB Parks, or you can visit their website, wbparks.org. On behalf of the staff here at the Splash Live, Tyler Keefe, Jake Schaff, I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. I want to say thank you so much for watching, listening, and joining us. And I'm not saying thank you because we're leaving. I'm saying thank you to say thank you. We are live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.